Hello, Roadrunner fans. This is JJ Perez, and welcome back to another episode of the 13 Questions podcast for the 2024 season, where I sit down and ask different people at UTSA the same 13 questions throughout this year. Appreciate you guys hanging in there with me. It's been a busy few weeks. Had to skip the player interview last week because we had the 2 coordinator interviews to get out to you guys. But today I am joined by tight end Oscar Cardenas, a longtime staple in UTSA's offense, one of the single digits on the team this year, and the number 0 in the 2-0 of Triangle of Toughness for the offense. So appreciate Oscar setting aside some time and doing this. Appreciate UTSA for setting this up. We actually did this in the preseason, so hope you guys enjoy Oscar Cardenas on the 13 Questions podcast. Questions podcast with tight end Oscar Cardenas. Oscar, I started this podcast a few years ago. I'm trying to get to know the guys a little bit better outside of football. Obviously, we ask you football questions all the time, so just the third year doing this, I appreciate you joining me here.
This is my 3rd year already?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it flies by, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Question number 1. Where did you grow up, and what do you like about this place? Obviously, San Antonio.
Born and raised San Antonio. Yeah. And what I like, I mean, there's so much to do there. It's a lot more downtown, right?
Yeah.
A lot of good food, I'd say. Good places to go watch movies. And especially like where we're located, it's getting huge.
Right.
Like the Rim, Alcantara. It's getting nice. I mean, golf. I've been getting into golf a little bit. There's a lot of courses in San Antonio, so I would say that.
What side of town specifically? The Helotes area, right? Or did you grow up?
Yeah, a little bit south of Helotes. Okay. Right there on Bandera 64.
Yeah.
Born and raised right there.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, it's a good spot. I spent a lot of time out there. I was actually out there recently. So, Question number 2, what personality trait do you have that you are most proud of?
I'd say being respectful.
Okay.
Yeah. My dad's always taught me to be respectful. He was a high school coach for 33 plus years, so it's already in him. He kind of put it into me, and it's just the right thing to do anyways, so I'd say that. Yeah,
that's a great trait. Question number 3, what current UTSA football player would you least like to be stuck in an elevator with? First off, have you been stuck in an elevator before?
No.
So who do you,
at least I remember.
Yeah, who would you think you don't
player
want?
Player or coach?
Yeah, player or coach, current.
I'd probably say Coach Traylor. I only say that because anytime I'm on the elevator with him, he says he's claustrophobic.
Oh my God!
He said
so. He'd probably go crazy.
I'll joke with him saying like, "Hey, let's jump on 3." Or whoever's in there, let's jump on 3. He'll get all scared. It's funny.
That's a good one. I got to ask him that one for sure.
Oh yeah, he'll tell you. He's not a big elevator person.
Yeah, this is a great one. Question number 4. What quality or skill do you envy in another football player?
Speed. 100%. All those fast guys, I'm so jealous of them. But then again, I'm 100 more pounds than them most of the time, so I understand. But speed is such a big quality to have.
Is that kind of a mental challenge you've had to overcome, or you just try to make up for it in other facets of your game? Because obviously you're not a fast guy, but you're a big guy. You got great hands. You're a great blocker.
I've definitely always tried to get faster in all my years of football, and it's just hard to maintain it, of course.
Yeah.
But and with my hands, if I'm not gonna be fast, I gotta definitely catch the ball. You know what I mean?
For sure.
You gotta balance it out somehow.
Yep. Question number 6 is the wild card question. I'm kind of asking everybody something a little bit different. Just tell me a little bit about your journey here. You've been a road runner, your whole life. Is it everything you thought it'd be? And any regrets? Any other options that you ever think about the road you could have gone?
No regrets at all, for sure. This. If you would have told me I would have been where I am now 10 years ago, I would have said you're lying for sure, because winning 2 conference championships, winning a bowl game, going to bowl games since Traylor's been here. That's all dream come trues, When I grew up, I've always wanted to go to Texas, obviously. It's just Texas, right? But I'm so glad that I came here. It was my top offer anyway, so And I'm glad Coach Traylor, like, if Coach Traylor would have left, I would have probably left. Because that guy is just such a down-to-earth guy. Or a guy down-to-earth. Yeah. I mean, he's just a really good coach. And that's why we have a lot of people that love him and just stay here.
Stick around, yep. Question number 7, if you were not a football player, what do you think you'd be doing? Like, what other interests do you have, or what other sports you think you might excel at?
Oh, sports? Baseball.
Baseball?
100%.
Really?
100%. I always tell, every time I pass by the baseball stadium on campus, I'm like, man, if I was a baseball player, I'd be in those cages all day long, just trying to get better at that. But
where did that come from?
My dad. My dad played baseball in his life. That was his sport. And he actually got drafted by the Rangers.
Oh, wow.
In the 7th round, I think. And so, but I always tease him about it. I say, why didn't you freaking go, dude? Like, what are we doing? He's like, well, if I would have went, I wouldn't have had you. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
I understand. I understand.
What baseball position did you play the most? Did you play as a kid?
Yeah. I played, I started off at shortstop. And then I got a little chunky. Yeah. So I couldn't move as much. So then I actually went to catcher. And I loved being a catcher.
When did you stop?
I stopped after high school. Yeah. I didn't get any looks after high school.
Yeah. So you played throughout high school, though?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That was my first sport. I didn't play football until I was in 7th grade.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so baseball, I mean, it's fun to play, boring to watch, but I mean, it's just such a good sport.
I think also as you get older, you mentioned golf earlier, I think that golf itch is going to kind of...
Oh, yeah.
It's already getting you.
100%.
Yeah, how often do you play?
I don't play like Frank.
Yeah.
Frank plays 3 times a week at least.
Wow.
But I'll try to get one a month, and that's if I'm lucky.
Yeah, that's awesome. How good are you?
I average about 92.
Okay.
My best is only 89.
Yeah.
But, Dan Dishman.
Yeah.
He started playing golf and all that, and he just kept on getting better. He shot like 100, and he shot like 98. And I was like, oh, you think it's just going to keep on going up? That's not the plan. You're going to keep going down. And then one time he shot like 110. I was like, yep, I told you.
Yeah, wow.
Golf's fun, but frustrating.
Yeah, it's one of those things.
So
but
fun.
Once you get that itch, it's hard to stop. So.
Oh, yeah.
Question number 8. How much media coverage, all this stuff, do you consume as a football player?
I only consume it if I have to.
Yeah.
But like media, like interviews and all that?
Right.
Yeah, I only consume if I have to and if I need to or anything like that, if they want me to.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I'm glad I did this. This seems like a really good event.
Yeah. It's hard though, right? There's a lot of like stuff out there and then like things get twisted, negativity stuff.
Oh, yeah. You got to balance it out, and there's always pros and cons to everything, so... Yeah.
Question number 9. What's your opinion of NIL? Obviously, it's been a few years since this has all started, and it's kind of like evolving into different things. Do you think it needs to be fixed, or like do you like it? Well, like what's the player's opinion of that?
Like I just said, there's pros and cons to everything.
Yeah.
So the money part of it is obviously great. Right?
Yeah.
But then you got the transfer portal part of it. Like,
yeah.
There's so many guys transferring. Like, that's something that needs to be fixed. Like, it shouldn't be about the money. And it's not about the money for me. It's just hard. I mean, there's so many details into NIL.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks you're just getting paid.
Right.
That's not it.
Yeah.
That's not it at all.
Yeah.
You're having to do a lot more to get paid. So you're kind of like getting a job, honestly. It's because we can't get a job.
Because you already have a job, right?
Football is our job. Nobody understands that. Like, we're just the minor league of the NFL. You know what I mean? So. Yeah,
I do think there's like a misconception that people are just throwing you guys money to show up and play, but it doesn't seem like that's the case at UTSA, because it's just like it's more like helping you guys with bills that you can't afford, right?
If people were in our shoes, they wouldn't know what to do. I mean, we gotta be able to. We're still getting a degree, you know what I mean?
Right.
And then I'm getting my master's right now. Like, there's just no time. My master classes are all at night.
Yeah.
My master classes are from 5:30 to 9:30.
Wow.
Like, what do you want me to do?
Yeah. That's a rough life. So, what is an opinion you have about UTSA football that you don't think is shared by others?
that's a good question. I don't know. I mean, can you ask it again? I didn't even think about that one.
Just what is the opinion that you have about UTSA football that you don't think others have?
Other teams?
Other just fans, maybe people on the outside. Like, is there maybe like a mentality you guys share inside the building that like others don't have outside?
Yeah, I mean, just going off our culture too. You know? Like everything that goes on to the locker room, everything that goes on the field, nobody understands what we go through. So same thing with NIL. Like nobody understands the real truth about all of that. That's on campus, all of that.
Yeah.
They just see Saturday nights.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Saturday afternoons. So yeah.
What is the one of the least glamorous aspects about being a football player? It's got to be the schedule, right?
Yeah. Or the contact.
The physical demand.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
You know, I mean, your body's done so. That's why a lot of athletes don't barely make it past 80. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, especially in football with your head and stuff. That's why all these guys, thank the Lord, they're trying to do science on that, on the helmets and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's hard, man. I mean, I think LeBron James, right? He's playing basketball, not as physical. Not as physical, it is physical.
Yeah.
But I think somebody said that he spends like over $1 million on just his body for the season, like that.
Yeah.
And that, no wonder he's still, how old is he? 38?
Yeah.
He's still playing. I mean, it takes a lot.
Yeah.
I try to get in the tubs every day. I try to stretch every day. I try to do all of that, whatever helps. I mean, mentally too. You know, it's not just physical.
Yeah, I think we forget like how physical it is because it can be brutal, right? There's
injuries,
career-ending injuries, almost career surgeries, all this stuff, and
it could be bad.
Yeah.
And then having injuries, then going into a mental aspect.
Yeah.
It could really mess you up.
Yeah. No, that's a great answer there. You have any bucket list items, and what do you think is the top bucket list item? The things you want to do in your life?
In my life?
Yeah.
You know, I've always wanted to make a bucket list, but I think I have in like 4th grade or something. But I haven't,
it's not the same.
Done it in a while.
Yeah.
I'm sure I completed all those.
Yeah.
But I guess the top one would probably be something about football, maybe, you know, just getting better after my previous season. So, you know, more than 30 receptions, 600 yards, something like that, more than 6 touchdowns, and something like that. And maybe personal world, finishing with my degree this fall, you know, not slacking at all.
Master's degree, right?
Yeah. Master's.
Be awesome. Question 12 of 13, second to last question for you. Beyond winning, what is the best way to measure success in football? Is it that degree, or is it just like how much
fun you have?
Okay.
You know, I tell a lot of people, like, you don't want to go to work and dread it. You know what I mean? You don't want to go to football and dread it like that. And that goes back to Coach Traylor too, to where he makes it fun, and he even tells us, like, if your position coach ain't making it fun anymore in the meetings, like you got to fight boredom and stuff.
Yeah.
Then he might not be the guy, right? So, as long as it's fun, like right now we're doing tight end Olympics, so we're doing like all these sports for the tight ends. I'm currently like in 3rd place, maybe 4th. But like, just doing stuff like that, just having fun and just being there is a really good time.
That's a great answer. I appreciate that. Question 13 of the 13 Questions podcast with Oscar Cardenas. Appreciate you joining me here. Last question. You mentioned like the other tight ends. It seems like that room is pretty deep.
Yeah.
And just overall, it feels like the offense and the team as a whole may be as deep as it's ever been since you've been here. How good can the Roadrunners be in 2024?
Oh, we can be real good, especially with the tight ends. We're deep and young, besides me, obviously. But with the tight ends, we got a really good relationship. We have 7 right now. I think we've had 9 at one point, I will say. So it hasn't been the deepest, but we are pretty deep that will play for sure. You know what I mean?
That's awesome. Yeah.
So, and then with the whole offense, I'm not worried about our defense. Our defense is going to kick some butt for sure. They're real physical and strong. But our offense, we're real young. we're still trying to find our way, but we're looking real good. And this past spring, very good. This summer, we had a really good time. This fall camp's gonna be our competition right now.
Awesome. Oscar, appreciate you joining me. Thanks a
Thank
bunch.
you for having me.
Yep. All right. That was UTSA tight end Oscar Cardenas on the 13 Questions podcast. He's been a guy that's been here a few years, so I'm always interested to see how those kind of old heads look back at their time and think about, what could have been and a road less traveled. I also appreciate him as a San Antonio guy. I'm also a San Antonio guy, born and raised, so always like to show some love to those guys. And really just talking about the team. I thought that was fascinating about, the expectations and how good this team could be. So we'll see how the Roadrunners continue to look in this 2024 season, early in the season. And, appreciate all of you guys listening to this podcast. Be sure to like, rate, comment, review. And we'll be back next week with another guest to be determined. Thanks for listening, guys.